What you doing, Shop Kitty?
Rile him up a little bit.
Oh, that's why he's digging. All right, cool. Yeah. What a good kitty.
I saw a little cat.
What you doing, baby? All right, well, anyway, on the bench today, we have an NC Miata differential. This differential I built not that long ago. It's seen 2 track days, and it took a crap. And the reason why it took a crap is because it ran out of oil. And unfortunately, this fella had another place install this. He didn't install it himself. And they drove the seal all the way in. They crushed the seal here. This is the PuddyMod seal bushing modification to prevent a leak. If you do not install this right and take your time and are careful with your installation, it will leak, just like any other seal that gets damaged. And as you can see on this side, this seal was also damaged in the install. It's in there cocked pretty badly, so, you know, unfortunately it was doomed to failure. So I didn't actually notice it leaking till it was too late, and it had run almost out of oil. They had to add half a quart plus to this rear end, and it only holds a quart, or just shy of a quart, so that's quite an oil loss. Driving home, you noticed it started howling at about 40 miles an hour or so and up. So it has gear whine now, which tells me that there is some damage to the gear set. Probably got hot spots in it, abnormal wear from, or excessive wear from running out of oil. Anyway, we're going to get it all apart, do some further investigation, and see what we got going on. Oh, good shot, kitty. Good, baby. All right, we're back here. We got that cooked rear end that was low on oil all apart. And unfortunately, as you can see, all these parts, they're in pretty rough shape now. The lack of oil has damaged the gear set. You can see that here. Doing the best I can. Let me see if I can get some light on this situation here. But yeah, they're wore out, gone. So they have to be replaced. Luckily, the Quaife LSD has survived, but not much else. Inside the case looks pretty rough, but I don't really want to disturb Shop Kitty right now because he's really happy where he's sitting. So I'll let that for another excerpt of this video to show the inside of that. Anyway, I have an emergency job on the bench. It is a holiday weekend. This is the Goretti Trust cover here. This is basically a giant oil bucket. This thing holds a crap load of oil, probably close to 2 quarts. But there is some controversy as to whether this is a good thing or not, in a sense of how the ring gear picks up the oil and then slings it around to make sure everything gets lubricated. The whole idea of this, you know, the original cover and the cover I have, is it keeps you, close to that ring gear so that you get that sling. Basically, the cover's shaped like this, and as the oil is picked up by the ring gear, it will carry it throughout the differential up into the upper chamber so it can circulate around. And you can see here how tight the cover is so that you have that that curve. And that's retained in the PuddyMod cover as well. We just put a reservoir in there for adding more oil capacity. We just don't do anything like the Goretti Trust cover here. All right, let me get this thing apart. We're gonna be putting a 410 in it, stage 2 build, and that is our weekend project. He's been waiting a year and came down here for a vacation. So while he's enjoying St. Pete Beach, I'll be enjoying the shop on this 4th of July weekend with Shop Kitty. Hey, Shop Kitty. Just you and me, buddy. Everybody else is out having a good time. Anyway, let's get this thing apart. Let's get started. Let's have some fun. All right, we have the cover off, and I wanted to show you guys this cover on the inside. It's a beautiful piece, beautifully casted, well made. Really a super nice cover. Banks, supercharged Banks that does all the big diesel stuff, the big truck stuff. Well, anyway, they did a study on these things, and they made some Lexan covers so you could see through them as the differential was turning. So you could see how the oil moved inside the differential case as the all the internal parts were moving, and they showed that by putting one of these larger covers on, the oil wasn't getting picked up properly by the ring gear to circulate the oil throughout the differential and properly lubricate the bearings and the moving parts and such. So there is a downside to these things. Yes, they hold a lot of oil. The oil stays fairly cool because of that. But like I said, you can watch Banks, their videos, and look at their stuff, and you can make that determination for yourself. And when we did our design, it's definitely different than this. Our design still allows for that pickup to happen, but yet give you a larger oil capacity. But this cover is super nice. A lot of neat features with the cover. You got these ports here, so you can put an oil cooler on this thing, circulator. There's a drain magnet right down here, and you got your factory fill bolt that you can use from your old cover will go on to this cover as well. It takes the same stock axle seals from Honda on this cover. Really nicely made. There is a heat sink on it. It's not crazy big. I guess it really doesn't need to be with this much oil. It stays fairly cool with just this little bit of a heat sink on it. There's a few more cooling fins down here as well, which help as the air passes underneath the car. And so all in all, I mean, I haven't seen anything fail because of this cover, so I can't say that is, I wouldn't buy it or anything like that, or not recommend it or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys, go out, educate yourself before you decide to put a large capacity cover on your car, and make a proper decision on what works best for you. Spoon makes a cover. I think they may have discontinued it now, which has a sump on it. I'm not a big fan of that cover because it kind of sits low in the car. So not a big fan of that design. It looks cool. They did years and years and years ago. Spoon made a large heat sink on the factory cover, which we also did the same thing back in the day. But then we went and stepped it up and added the reservoir for it. And our cover holds a quart and a half of oil approximately. Each one's a little bit different because they are handmade. We do them here in the shop. Each one is kind of unique to itself. And so they hold basically about a quart and a half of oil and have the largest heat sink available on the market, and but just not the largest capacity. This one here definitely holds that title as the largest capacity oil cover for the Honda S2000. All right, we're getting there. PuddyMod solid steel sleeve, that still has to be fitted. I still have to set out a gear set for this job. We have our bearings and our seals. Bearings are on the Osgiken now. Yeah, come along really nice. Freshened up the color on this case. It was looking pretty shabby, so I went ahead and did that, and that looks nice. And a little update to the brake calipers for the Camaro. I finally got around to cleaning up the second caliper. As you guys know, these things were really rough looking. You can look in previous videos. I just hadn't had time to get to this caliper just yet. And this is not restored, so keep that in mind. This is really just at its point of cleanup. So you can see everything is in really nice shape, cleaned up really well. All the parts look really, really, really good. Anyway, what was really cool about this is I haven't pulled the pistons out of this thing yet, mainly because they actually work. I mean, I'm going to take them out, replace the seals, all that stuff like that. But I thought I'd share with you guys that these things actually freed up and function, which is like insane. But here you go. I'm going to go ahead and push them in a little bit here, and we can see them activate, which is crazy, you know. And let's see, right here. There we go. This one works really well. There goes one. You can see that. So that's really nice. And then this one here, it's a little stiffer, but it does move. There it goes. So that's pretty amazing that I was actually able to free up this caliper and get it to actually function with the original pistons and seals in it. God knows how old they are. I don't know if they've ever been replaced in their lives, but when I did take this stuff apart, it had original General Motors brake pads in it still. So my guess is that this system has been together probably since the 70s at possibly early 80s maybe, but I don't think anything newer than that for sure. And I was able to get it working. Here's your bolts. They look pretty good. You can see there's quite a bit of wear, but the hole marks are still there. You can see everything, so they're going to be retained. The rods, the pin that holds your brake pads in place, they leave a little bit much to be desired. They're pretty heavily pitted. More than likely we'll be replacing them, but I was able to get the pins out of it, the cotter pin, and clean them up to a point where they do move in and out now and they function. The bleeder. I do have to get some bolts for it to hold on to the bracket. The brake, one's still good. So I'm actually only missing one. That is right. I do have the hardware. The passages that are in here to allow the brake fluid to flow and move these pistons were still not fully cleared on the other half of this caliper, so still working on that. This one is actually perfect now. The sleeves are in excellent condition. I might do a little bit of honing on them just to make perfect even more so, but other than that, really, really nice. They came out super good. I'm going to put a cast coat on them to keep them from rusting, but there you go. You have a restored caliper here, or half a caliper anyway, and looking really nice. Next, I have to do the rebuild on those. That's going to be fun. Never rebuild a set of calipers. Well, actually, I did one caliper on a Dodge pickup truck, my first one. It had a plastic piston in it. It was weird. But anyway, this will be the first time I've ever done anything like this, so should be fun. Anyway, let me get the gear set prepped out for this job. Our 4th of July weekend emergency, get it done. All right, stay tuned for the next part of this video. All right, we are to the point now of setting up the PuddyMod solid steel sleeve, and there it is. Already turned in a lathe, ready to go. We have our new nut and washer. Ring gear is perfectly balanced on that Osgiken LSD back there. Really nice. Today's episode is sponsored by me. There's the Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Thank you very much, me. Anyway, let's get this thing all put together, and we'll show the turning torque on that input flange next. All right, here we go with the backlash on this Osgiken LSD in 4:10 ratio, stage 2 build. And we're at 3,000, and it's consistent around the gear. This thing really balanced out, super sweet. Should run really, really good, smooth, quiet. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Stay tuned. Leave comments. This one came out super nice. Beautiful. See you on the next video. I thought I was all finished with this, but I am not. Anyway, I replaced a few more things on this differential after I put the cover on. I replaced the 2 spring clips for the stub axles. I noticed when I was taking this thing apart that the axles came out fairly easily. I didn't like how that felt. So when I went to go put them back in, it was pretty much the same way. So I keep these in stock, and they don't have to be replaced very often, but with an aftermarket LSD, tolerances are different. So with this Osgiken, it's a little bit loose, I guess you could say, and I just wasn't getting a good feeling about how these stub axles were fitting in this differential. So went ahead, put brand new Honda clips in here, and you can see these are the ones I removed, and they're in excellent condition. These would have been perfectly fine for a stock LSD. There's very little mark here from the spline on the axle, so these are basically perfect. There's really nothing wrong with them whatsoever. But for this aftermarket Osgiken LSD, they just weren't cutting it. So went ahead, put brand new ones in it. Got a really nice, positive, tight fit now. Those stub axles are not going to pop out on their own without definite effort, which is what you want. Also going to go ahead and replace the vent. As you can see, it's been damaged somewhere down the line. I don't know how well this thing's going to breathe the way that is, and it's really essential that it does. So especially with that Osgiken, again, aftermarket clutch type, it's going to generate more heat than factory, and you want to make sure that this thing vents properly. Even with all this extra oil capacity, you can still have issues, or will have issues, I should say, if she doesn't vent right. So of course we have a new vent to go ahead and put inside that cover as well. Owner told me that he had a damaged mounting arm. The threads were galled on it from age. You know, these things are aluminum, and then you have a steel fastener in there. And over the years, they didn't, do a very good job of putting anti-seize on any of these parts. So it seized up, it galled, and it damaged. It's no good. So we have a new arm for him, or a new to him arm anyway. These are not something you can buy anymore. This is an obsolete part, like pretty much everything else. I do keep them in stock. I have them. So he's very lucky I have that arm, so I can replace that for him, and he can get this thing put together. Otherwise, I'd have to Healy coil the original, and but with this new arm, we won't have to worry about that. Oh, and I got the other half of the caliper out for the Camaro, the 4-piston disc brake setup, the original setup here. This one wasn't cleaning up as good as the other side. I was having problems with these passages being still blocked. Now I got everything perfectly free and clear. Came out great. Looks fantastic like the other side does. So all that has to be done now is the rebuild and then a cast coat put on them, and then they're going to be ready to go for the Camaro when we do that. I'm replacing everything up front right now. It's got a 69 Camaro front disc brake system. General Motors, it's factory. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is our 4th of July special, and happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day. Stay tuned, and please subscribe and make comments. I'll talk to you guys soon with the next video.